Welcome to Shady Tales, a quiet little place where strange stories find a voice. Tonight, we're diving into real experiences pulled straight from Reddit. Moments where reality twisted, time skipped, and something just felt off. If you're into stories that make you question the world around you, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more curious minds find their way here. And if you've ever had a moment that didn't make sense, drop it in the comments. We're always listening. Subscribe for more true tales from the edge of the ordinary. Now, get comfortable. Let's take a quiet step into the unknown.
Found an old toy thingy I haven't seen in over a decade in the crack of a new couch by user Juge. So, it's around midnight. I'm sitting on the couch, scarfing down some Wendy's while watching The Matrix with my dad. Eventually, he calls it a night and heads to bed, leaving me alone with my food, the movie, and my Benjamin, my vape pen. I accidentally drop Benjamin into the couch crack. Classic. So I start digging around to fish it out when something catches my eye. It's this tiny red and white beaded thing. My heart kind of stutters. I know what this is. When I was around 9 or 10, I made this little toy during a Christmas activity at church. We twisted red and white beads onto pipe cleaners to make candy canes, or shepherd's staffs, or J for Jesus, depending on who you asked. I remember dropping it down the crack of our old couch back then. Not this couch, not even the last couch. 2 couches ago. That couch was long gone by the time I turned 12. We got a leather one after that, then replaced that one again a few years ago with the couch I'm sitting on now. At no point in the last decade did I even think about that beaded cane, let alone see it. But here it is. I held it in my hand like I just reached through a memory and pulled something out of time. I even got this weird deja vu, like the Matrix glitch moment when Neo sees the black cat. That exact feeling. The room felt heavy, electric. I've got no explanation. This toy should have disappeared over 10 years ago, and yet it waited for me in the crack of a new couch.
We could see what we should not have seen. Story by user Hopeful. Expressions. It was a long time ago, but the memory still lingers like a scene frozen in time. Me and my friend Joe were out late one night, driving down a familiar residential street around 1 a.m. The road was quiet, empty, and the world felt like it had slowed to a crawl. We were approaching a 4-way intersection where the traffic lights were flashing, yellow for us, red for the cross street. As we neared the intersection, I looked to my right and saw headlights. Another car coming fast from about a block away. I said, "I don't think that guy's going to stop." Joe replied, calm and certain, "That guy's not going to stop." I eased the car to a complete stop at the flashing yellow, just in time to watch the other vehicle blow straight through the red light without hesitation. We both said at the same time, almost like it was rehearsed, "He didn't stop." It was strange the way we talked about it, almost disconnected. But we just shrugged it off and continued to the restaurant like nothing major had happened. But here's where it gets weird. The next night we were driving the exact same route, same time, same intersection. And as we approached, something hit me like a brick. "Joe," I said slowly, "we shouldn't have been able to see that car last night." He looked at me, confused. So I explained, There's no line of sight there. All these houses, fences, trees. There's no way we could have seen a car coming from that direction. Not from a block away. I was right. That part of the neighborhood is packed tight. You can't even catch a glimpse of headlights through the trees, let alone an entire car a block off. For years after that, every time I passed through that intersection, I tried to make sense of it, to figure out how we saw what we did. But the answer never came. Somehow, we saw what we weren't supposed to see. And because of it, we stopped. And because of that, we weren't in the intersection when that car ran the red. I don't know what happened that night, but I do know this. Someone or something was watching out for us.
The Stuffed Animal That Dropped Out of Thin Air. Story by user Absolute Grief. It was just after midnight. My wife and I were getting ready to fall asleep, lying in bed under freshly washed sheets. The house was quiet, still. No kids, no pets, just the two of us. She has this old stuffed animal from childhood, a little possum named Puddin' Pop. He usually ends up at the foot of the bed or falls to the floor during the night. Sometimes she cuddles him before dozing off. That night, we were both under the covers, drifting off slowly, talking in soft voices. I was spooning her, one arm draped over her, only my head and arm outside the blankets. As our conversation started to trail off, I mumbled, "Hey, where's Puddin' Pop? Did we put him back on the bed after making it?" She replied, "I'm not sure." Then silence. A few minutes passed, maybe 3. The room felt still, half asleep, and then plop. Something landed directly on my arm. Not a brush, not a shift. It landed. Our eyes shot open. Puddin' Pop. He had fallen, or dropped, right onto my arm, heavy enough to feel through the covers, heavy enough to jolt us both upright. That Beanie Baby style weight, the sound it makes when it hits something, it was unmistakable. "Did you just drop Puddin' Pop on me somehow?" I asked. She was already freaked out. "No, how could I? I'm completely under the covers." There was nothing around us. No bedside shelves, no furniture above or near the bed. Our beds pushed against the wall, centered in the room. The only thing above us was the ceiling. We sat there in the dark, wide awake, trying to piece together how a stuffed animal could have just fallen onto us out of nowhere. But there was no explanation. He just appeared. Sleep didn't come easy after that.
The Empty Place. Story by user Under Thoreausi Shadow. It started off as a weird coincidence. Me and my husband would walk into a restaurant or a shop, and it would be completely empty, silent, peaceful. But within minutes, seconds even, people would start coming in, 1 or 2 at first, then more. And before we knew it, the place was full, loud, crowded. It happened again, and again, and again. We started joking about it, calling ourselves the Openers. Like some weird magnet, wherever we went, people would follow. But after a while, it stopped being funny. It didn't matter where we went. High-end cafes, sketchy hole-in-the-wall joints, even stores that looked completely abandoned. As soon as we walked through the door, it was like a signal was sent out to the rest of the world. Come here. We started testing it, purposefully choosing places no one would ever go, ugly spots, off the beaten path, run-down shops with bad lighting and no customers. But the moment we stepped inside, it was like the floodgates opened. Within minutes, full. We never saw the people approaching. They just seemed to appear around corners from the parking lot, crossing the street, drawn in like moths to some invisible flame. It's like something is directing people to follow us, watching where we go, pushing the world around us to shift. We don't know what it means. We've stopped talking about it out loud, but every time we open a door now, we wonder, what's really following us and why? Strange, isn't it? These weren't ghost stories or tall tales, just real moments shared by people who never expected to experience the impossible. Here on Shady Tales, we don't claim to have the answers, but we'll always share the questions. If something in tonight's stories gave you chills or made you think twice, let us know in the comments. And if you've lived through your own glitch, don't keep it to yourself. We'd love to hear it. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss a story from the shadows. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest glitch can reveal the biggest mystery.